Hi, everyone. We've got a few minutes here before we get started. Can't believe it's Wednesday already. I hope everyone had a really wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I know for some of you, this can be a really challenging time. And so I hope you were able to find some reprieve, some relaxation, some self-care time for yourselves. Just another minute or two. I'm actually a little early today. That's nice. I just want to give everyone a couple minutes to arrive. To just be listening to this call, I want you to think about if you've been on a fertility diet, how long you've been on one, has it been uniquely designed for you? What are the foods that you've eliminated? What are the foods that you've incorporated? And then whether or not you've had a food sensitivities test done, and if any of your general health symptoms have disappeared. So these are all really important markers that we're going to be talking about, and maybe diving into some of the other elements that are related to this. But basically in my program, in my fertility success program, what I do is I help men and women, so couples, right, start to really evaluate their diet and how it's contributing to egg quality, to being able to hold your baby to full term. And then, of course, for men, your sperm quality, because your sperm quality is going to affect the outcome of that embryo and also even that embryo holding. So miscarriage is not just something that happens because of a woman's body, but it's also because of a man's body and a man's sperm. So, this is really important to consider. And in my fertility success program, what I do is in the very beginning. So in step 1 of the program, what I do is I help you to investigate completely what is going on with your diet in particular. And we investigate a lot of other things by using functional lab testing. But one of the lab tests that we use is a food sensitivities test. And I also use really detailed questionnaires to kind of really get to know what's going on with you. There's a food, mood, and poop journal. And actually that journal is in my free fertility starter kit. So if you want to pick that up, that food, mood, and poop journal is in there. And it helps you to kind of evaluate what foods you can already tell you are sensitive to. And why is it important to really get down to business with your diet first and foremost right away if you haven't? It's because your food and eating is probably one of the most inflammatory actions you take on a daily basis. Eating is an inflammatory action. Yes, we do need nutrition. It is a beautiful thing, don't get me wrong, but it does take energy to break down your food and digest your food. So you really want to make sure that when you are ingesting your food, you're ingesting the food that is best for you, and that is going to give you life, and that is going to enhance your fertility and enhance your overall health rather than take away from it and increase inflammation. And that's a stressor, right? So we do that in step 1 of the program. Now, if you have been, if it's with me or it's on your own or whatever, if you've really, done a food sensitivities test, you've really nailed down all the foods you're sensitive to, you've been eating really clean, organic, whole foods, unprocessed, and you've been doing this for 6+ months and you're not seeing results, well then yeah, there you've got some problems there. And how can you resolve it? Well, firstly, you need to look at and see, yes, maybe baby is in here when, of course, we want baby, but baby tends to be the last thing that shows up. So if baby is in here, are any of your overall general health symptoms disappearing? Is your acne clearing? Are your headaches going away? Are you having regular bowel movements? 1, 2, 3 bowel movements a day, no gas, no constipation, no bloating? Do you have better energy? Are you sleeping better? Is your thyroid getting more balanced? These are all signals that your body is moving in the right direction, that your diet is actually helping you to reclaim your overall health and your fertility, which is going to improve your egg quality, your ability to conceive, to hold that baby to full term. So you also have to look at things that way. And I think that's an important conversation to be had, because a lot of times when, we feel like, where's baby? Baby's not here yet. It's been 6+ months. I've been doing this diet and it's not coming. Sometimes you got to just give things more time. And I know that's not usually something that we all want to hear, but it is the truth, because your body, it's taken this long for your body to have all the damage that it's had, and you need to give it time to rebuild. But I promise you that by doing this, you are improving your overall health, obviously, but also the health of your baby. And you want to have a healthy baby, because if you try to push and shove this baby into coming into the world, that baby is not going to have great health. And you're going to be having all kinds of emotional and physical traumas dealing with the health of these children when they're in this world. And I know most of you, when you hear that, you would want a baby that is solid and healthy, because when you have your health, you can really enjoy so much more of a happy and fruitful life than when you don't. So that's important to remember, is to have some patience, to allow your body the time and the space to let things move forward. Now, I know for some of you, you're like, well, the clock is ticking and I want to get IUI and I want to get IVF and I want to get this thing moving. Like, I don't have all this time, Raw. And I get it. And so, you still need to be patient. If you've been doing this for 6+ months, well, then yeah, you can consider that. But what I would say to you is that you need to consider doing more functional lab testing, so that you can really clean up everything that's going on in your body. Because likely you have pathogenic infections. Yes, pathogenic infections. Most of my clients have them. Even my clients that eat organic and take supplements and exercise and sleep great before I met them, they're having fertility issues, and we're finding out that they have pathogenic infections. So that could be candida, that could be yeast, that could be parasites, that could be worms, that could be mold, etc. So they're pathogens, and they wreak havoc on your immune system, on your egg quality. They rob you of nutrients. A whole slew of things happens. So that is what I would say about functional lab testing, is checking out pathogens, checking out heavy metals, checking out your mineral levels, checking out your thyroid. So you need to do some really good testing. You want to test and not guess, because if you guess, that is what will make things take more time. And I know many of you are eager to move forward. So this will give you a lot of answers and help you to really uniquely design the protocol that is best suited for you. Okay, so let's kind of reel it back in and talk about diet. If, diet, you've been working on it for 6+ months and you're like, well, what should I do? Well, like I said, run functional lab testing, but also think about the foods that you've eliminated. So if you have eliminated the 5 primary inflammatory foods, which you can find on my free fertility starter kit, that would be sugar, soy, gluten, dairy, and corn. Okay, those are the 5 most inflammatory foods. Now, if you've eliminated those and you've done a food and eliminated those foods that you are sensitive to for a period of about 6 months or so, then you're doing pretty good. But I would say to you, if you're not seeing results and you have not eliminated foods like nightshades, which would be like your potatoes, your tomatoes, your eggplants, etc., right? Mushrooms could be another one. Peanuts, eggs, chocolate, shellfish sometimes, beans, and grains. Those can all be extremely inflammatory as well. And so you may want to consider those secondary inflammatory foods. Now, the diet that really encompasses all of those inflammatory foods is the autoimmune paleo diet. So the thing with the autoimmune paleo diet is, for a lot of people, when you start it, it can feel really intense. But I still do recommend it. And there's a lot of people out there that say, well, you're so prone to failing, and, you're going to feel like you're going crazy. And it's true, it does happen. But if you want to turn your health around and you want to turn your fertility around and you are determined, you can make it happen. It's just all about mindset and riding out the waves in the beginning. And in the beginning, I mean, usually about the first month and a half, more so month, it's really intense because you're making a huge lifestyle shift. You're eliminating foods that you've probably leaned on for a long time, including a lot of fruit. So if you've been eating a whole foods diet. Now, if you haven't been eating a whole foods diet, then yeah, you're going to definitely feel a shift. And your body's almost going through kind of like a detox, if you will. So when you're going through a detox, you're going to have die-off reactions. Your body's going to be craving some of those ingredients, some of those toxins, some of those chemicals. Even in the whole foods, there is a biochemical reaction that we're used to having, or a feeling of fullness that we're used to having. So this is not about starving, but a diet, an autoimmune paleo diet, will oftentimes look like a range of meats. And hopefully you have a food sensitivities test done so you can know which meats you're tolerant to and which meats you're not. And you would eat those meats with a mixture of vegetables, and you would be mixing up your veggies every day. For some people, it can be, limiting the amount of root veggies you have. Some people, if they have really, really bad candida, you might need to limit that, a bit more if possible, to help you accelerate that process. But, you can do it. And I highly recommend it because you're going to have a huge turnaround, and you're going to see a huge resolve in your health symptoms. The key is getting on that autoimmune paleo diet, preparing yourself properly, having the support that you need, and then also running a food sensitivities test and including those food sensitivities and eliminating them from your diet. So it could be things like broccoli, et cetera, is what I'm talking about. And so it can be a very simple diet. And I think we forget in this modern day era, you know, we go to the grocery store, we go online and we shop for food, and there's food from like Peru and Africa and, you know, all of these different countries, particularly is what they eat. And because you could be doing the autoimmune paleo diet as well, and you're still consuming some of those foods that you're really inflammatory to, like maybe you love avocados, like moi. And then I just recently did my food sensitivities test because I do it on a pretty regular basis. And I'm sensitive to avocados because I've been eating them a little too much. So I have to remove them until I find that my body is cleared and healed up and stuff. So there's that. So if any of you have any comments for me, any questions for me on your experience, how long you've been on your fertility food diet, if you have, how long it's been, then please drop that in the comments box below. And I want to encourage all of you, if you have not picked up my free fertility starter kit, if you're a little bit newer to this than what I'm really talking about in this video, I highly recommend you pick it up. You can go to my link in my bio in Instagram and you'll see a link in there for the free fertility starter kit. And you can also pick it up on my website at reclaimoptimalhealth.com on the homepage. I believe it's in the top and the very bottom of the page, you can find it there. And there's a whole slew of resources about your diet. There's a food journal. There's a goals list for you. And I also go into great detail to talk about how stress is the #1 cause of infertility and what stress really is, what shapes and forms it comes in. It's not just emotional and spiritual stress, which is extremely important, but it's not the only one. And to understand what it does to your body physiologically and how it damages your fertility and what to do to start turning it around. So that is what I have for you all today. Let me know again if you have any questions or comments down below. And if any of you have any other questions for me, you're always welcome to DM me or email me. You can find me on Instagram pretty much every day. And I'm happy to answer your questions or just listen to your story and support you. I'm here to serve you. And for any of you who are interested in my fertility success program, then you can, again, either go to my link in my bio and find a little button there to set up a qualifying call, or you can go to my website, reclaimoptimalhealth.com/schedule. And there you can set up a time that works for you so we can talk about how you can get closer to your baby. So I hope this was helpful for you all. I know it can be frustrating as time is going on and you're not seeing baby, but it means it's time to do some deeper investigation, like a Dutch test, like a thyroid test, food sensitivities test, et cetera, because sometimes it is way more than just your diet that is going to help you get over this hump. So I will see you all again next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 12 p.m. Pacific. And if you have any questions for me, you know where to find me. All right. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.